Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. I'm trying out yet another green screen setup for this video. I've sort of moved it to the side now. Let me know if you prefer it this way. I'm just trying to make sure I get it right for you guys. It just so happens as well that Elgato are the ones that actually provided the green screen, and they're my sponsors, and so if you want to get a green screen yourself and support the channel, the link is down below. Right. Today I want to talk about the fact that earlier on this afternoon, Call of Duty gave us a new Black Ops 4 teaser that was really glitchy and fuzzy and ambiguous, and this kind of followed on from a teaser that we got a few days ago giving us some details about the community reveal for Black Ops 4, and when that video came out and I made a video on it, I said at the time, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep going with this kind of glitch theme and the rest of the marketing that we get leading up to the reveal takes on this style, and that's how they kind of keep the suspense built up and stuff like that. And it's exactly what they've done, because, as I said, we got that first teaser earlier today with the kind of glitchy effect, and we actually, at the same time as we got the first one, got like 4 more, or 3 more or something. Well, actually, it's more like 2 more, but okay, let me clarify why that is in a moment. But we got a couple more teasers, and I just didn't realise they were there. And the reason for that was that they were spread across different regional Call of Duty accounts on Facebook. So Facebook has the Call of Duty account, and then it has Call of Duty UK, Call of Duty France, Italy, Australia, New Zealand, United Arab Emirates, Yemen, Egypt, everywhere. Pretty much the whole globe has a dedicated Call of Duty page, and on some of those pages, there were customized new teasers released alongside that release of the teaser that I've already covered on this channel. So, to give you a very quick recap of the first one, just for the sake of being comprehensive, we could see what appeared to be a gun being fired, a shell being ejected, and dropping down, and then kind of being followed as it dropped through the air, or something like that. It was kind of difficult to make it out though, and so people weren't really sure if it was a sniper rifle, or if it was like a snub-nosed revolver, some kind of handgun. It was just really too difficult to say in my opinion. There was also the potential that we were seeing a zombie in there, but that was much more contentious in my opinion. I think that it's most likely that that zombie that we were seeing was just a case of pareidolia, which is essentially when you see something in the world, like for example you see a face in the clouds, you see a man in the moon, stuff like that, because you want to see it and your brain is recognizing patterns that it recognizes from elsewhere in life, but it actually is just nothing at all, and it's your brain filling in gaps where there should only really be a gap. There shouldn't be anything else. So I think it's most likely the zombie we were seeing before was just a case of pareidolia now that I've had a moment to sort of think about it and digest it a little bit. But with these new teasers that we've got on the regional Facebook pages, there's another slightly more direct chance, in my opinion, that we do have a zombies teaser in there. I'm going to start off, though, not talking about that teaser, but instead talking about the one on the Germany, France, and Italy pages for Call of Duty, because it's 3 of the same video that they've uploaded to those 3 regions, and this one is really, really hard to figure out, like, even more so than the gun one was, and the gun one, by the way, it seemed like you had to play it in reverse to get the correct kind of chronology, I guess. Like, if you played it in reverse, then it was like the gun being kind of sort of moved a little bit and then fired, and you sort of saw the recoil and then you saw the shell ejected. And I'm not sure if that's the case for this France, Germany, and Italy ones. Like, it's just really hard to see, but essentially the video is as follows, as you can see on the side of the screen here. You've got this kind of circular looking thing, which I reckon is like a scuba diving watch. Like, you know, you get those kind of watches designed for going underwater. They're a little bit more chunky, kind of like G-Shock style, bulkier watch, with details on the dial itself, specifically useful when you're diving and stuff like that. Like, that's the kind of genre of watch that I'm talking about here. Those bit more of a kind of clumsy-looking, bulky boy that you often see in the military, by the way, as well. That's what I'm sort of seeing there, I think. Like, might even be some kind of NATO strap-looking thing underneath, but I can't really tell, to be honest. And then it looks like there's a glove, like a leather glove. But, again, this is so hard to make out. For all I know, that could be, like, a mountain. Like, it's legitimately that ambiguous what that actually is. So, we see that, then we see what looks like something maybe being welded, which would fit in with the fact that we've seen the Black Ops 4 logo itself being kind of carved out of metal in the original reveal. But again, that might not even be something being welded because of the fact that a couple frames into that new shot of the welding thing, it goes back to what looks like the watch again, but the watch is only on half of the screen, and at this point, having the kind of overlay of the two, like the new shot, but then with half of the screen being the old shot and a kind of weird overlay going on, is so reminiscent of the Call of Duty Snapchat teasers we had for Black Ops 3. Like, It is so similar. Just gives me all those flashbacks coming straight through. I'm imagining myself somewhere calm, somewhere safe, and in a frozen forest right now. So that's what we're seeing there. And then we go into this really interesting shot of, like, lots of needle-looking things coming down. And that one, again, is so hard to figure out, because this shot could be some kind of craft, like, looking up at some kind of spacecraft as it's, like, rotating. Or it could be a load of missiles all in a kind of array coming down towards, like, an island or some kind of landmass or a ship or something. Or, alternatively, they could be a load of syringes. Like, you know, you have that kind of cliche of maybe in a hospital or maybe in a research lab, and you've got loads of pipettes on a grid, and they're all moved at once. These little syringes are, like, up and down together in unison, and they're kind of going into different beakers and stuff, and adding bits here and there, and doing all sort of titration-y activities. That's sort of what it looks like to me as well. I just really can't tell. There's one part of it where it looks like there's actually fins on the things that are coming down, which gives me the idea of the sort of missiles, but then the way that they move makes me think that it is closer to, like, some kind of mechanized thing, and there is some kind of rotation going on as well, so is it a spaceship? Like, it's really hard to say. So that's the teaser on the French, German, and Italian pages. Now we can move on to the one that at first I thought was definitely zombies related, but then I asked Twitter, and the response was actually really mixed, and that's why this bit of audio sounds different, is because I'm recording it later than I recorded the rest of the video, because I wanted to give you both sides of the story, both of the things that people were saying. The first thing we see in this trailer, if it's reversed at least, so we see the May 17th thing first, just like the other two videos, we then see someone in what really is intriguing looking gear. It's like a massive armored looking glove, some kind of utility belt. My guy Batman is making some kind of chemical concoction here. I don't know what the deal is. Like, it certainly seems to me like if Treyarch were gonna go down any kind of route of saying, yeah, alchemy is present in this next game in the zombies mode, this would be a good way to show it. Like, it really just gives me that kind of vibe. The way it's being poured as well, the liquid coming out of this kind of jar that is being held and being poured down onto what looks like some kind of flame, or there's some kind of reaction happening there. That does not look like the sort of action that would be performed in a lab or in a hospital or in some kind of research setting either. Like, you're going to pour things more safely than that. You're not going to just sort of do it flamboyantly like, I'm just pouring my stuff as you do all over. Like, that's just not the way it's going to be, right? So I think that it's more likely that this is some kind of like homebrew stuff going on, and therefore it would fit absolutely perfectly with the Alchemy teaser that we already had in the first captioned Zombies teaser. So we knew that one was zombies. We don't know that this one is for sure, but the old one was definitely, and it was full of alchemical themes and references and symbology, and as such, seeing as you got someone making a little mixture here, in my mind, that is just a very natural join. So now that we've talked about the alchemy interpretation so that you guys are covered who think that that's what it is, now let's talk about molotovs real quick. Molotovs, I believe, first came into use in kind of 1939-ish, and they're still used in the present day, but not really in a proper formal military sense. It's more of a kind of protest thing. So if we, in Black Ops 4, were going to go anywhere with a campaign towards Cordis DA or anything like that, this would be a perfect kind of symbol for that to kind of push us in that direction. But seeing as we're apparently not getting a campaign, we can't really make that same kind of link, but we could say, well, if in Venezuela, for example, like a couple, 3-4 years ago, Molotov cocktails were actually being used, then maybe that means that we're going for a present-day setting for Black Ops 4. It's just a theory, a flame theory. The rest of this particular teaser then goes into, again, a gun that does, to me, look quite similar to the gun that we saw in the original teaser, and so this makes me think that it is maybe a sniper rifle of some sort, although, again, I just can't, like, confirm that. It's just too unclear. Certainly in this shot, you can see that the gun has a much longer barrel, and so there's no sort of doubtful comments to make for this one about it being a revolver or some kind of handgun or something like that. Like, this particular one is definitely something longer, with a longer nose. And then it goes through to another shot, and this shot is so interesting to me, okay? Because, and I really have to caveat this, I think, and this is just me being hopeful, I think, but I think the thing that this most closely resembles is the RAYGUN Mark II. Like, legit, the first time I saw this, that's exactly what I thought. And I promise you, I'm not just saying that so that it seems more exciting than it is. Like, legitimately, I've been trying to think of a gun that kind of looks this way in Call of Duty, and the Mark II just keeps coming to the forefront of my mind. The way that it's being held as well, and just all of this, really is making me think of Town, okay? These teasers have all had this kind of orange and black tint to it, and yes, that's obviously the theme for Black Ops 4, okay? Obviously, it's no surprise that black and orange is the kind of color palette they're going for. I'm not doubting that. What I'm saying is that just the kind of murky brown tone that we end up with in these teasers, combined with the fact that for Transit, they actually did a bunch of teasers like that stop sign above the pool of lava in the middle of the town, or rather the traffic lights. I don't know why I just called it a stop sign, but all of those videos came out before Black Ops 2, and these, just in the last couple of minutes of me finding them and sort of preparing to make this video, have really been giving me flashbacks to Town, and lava, and fog, and all those sorts of things, and therefore also flashbacks to the Mark II. I mean, my kind of sort of skeptical part of my brain, I guess, right now is saying there's no way it's a Mark II. Like, they'd never bring that back. That's a gun that's associated with Jimmy Zielinski. Jason's not going to want to go there. It's probably not a Mark II, and there's obviously not an intended Town, lava, fog, transit reference going on. It just happens to be the color scheme. But the other part of my brain is just yelling it so loud right now, and I want to know what you guys think, because I can't get it out of my damn head. So, do you think that they're holding like a Mark II there? Now for the caveats that I mentioned I would have to make, there is of course a chance that the gun that they're holding in that final shot is the same gun they were holding a moment ago, and there's also a chance that that gun they were holding a moment ago is the same as the one they were holding in the first teaser that we already talked about. So it could just all be the same gun, in which case literally all that's happening there is they're firing a gun, and then the shell's coming out, and then they're getting ready to fire again, because it does look like they kind of reach forward and pull something back on the gun, like they are like bolting it up, ready to go, so it probably is some kind of bolt-action sniper rifle, if we go by that logic, which is actually quite an exciting prospect. But the other caveat that I wanted to make is that I talked about the whole alchemy thing with the guy pouring. There is a chance, if the original shot of that kind of grid of things is indeed in a lab, kind of some research being done, and it's like a load of pipettes, a load of syringes being poked into different beakers all at once to do a load of kind of tests, there's a chance, I suppose, that the alchemy thing is actually meant to be in that vein, and it's meant to just represent someone in some kind of science lab. Maybe it's a lab that's a bit off the grid, but it is possible that it's not related to alchemy. I just think that by far the most likely option for that one is the alchemy reference that we've had broadcasted right in front of our faces by Treyarch in the last couple of days. So, that was quite a mouthful, but I believe we are now all caught up to speed. What do you think of all of this, guys? There's quite a lot of information to take in here, and it's been given to us in quite a short space of time, but if you then sort of sit back and think about what we've actually been given, it's nothing. Like, it's really nothing. It's just a lot of things that we're trying our best to read into and break down and analyze, and I mean, you know me, I'm the king of that stuff. Like, I literally will sit here and analyze for days on end if I think that it's going to go somewhere, and I'd love to do that with these, but I'm really interested right now in hearing your thoughts on whether any of the things that I've said are things that you agree with, or if you have your own theories on what's going on here. Do you think it was a zombie in that original teaser? Do you think the alchemy stuff in this one is indeed zombies related? Do you think it's a Mark II? Do you think it's some kind of other gun, like a, I don't know, like a PM63? Do you think the thing that kind of looks like a stock at the back of it potentially means that it's not a Mark II and it's actually like some kind of just assault rifle or something? Like, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below right now. I'm going to quickly point you towards two of my most recent videos on screen right now, so you can go ahead and get some more Black Ops 4 info in your veins. One of them is called Never the Same, and I'm not going to say much about it other than the fact that it contains Easter eggs, a game other than Call of Duty, and a threat to zombies, potentially. And the other one is my mega theory for Black Ops 4 Zombies, which I think you all enjoyed. So, I've been MrRoflWaffles. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you haven't, leave a like. If you haven't, let me know why in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. I hope it's not Town. I hope it's not lava. And most of all, I swear to God, I hope it's not fog. Jesus Christ.